This is the story of two amateurs who haven't a clue what they're doing who go camping in Antarctica. It's minus 18 degrees Celsius, we nearly burned the tent down, and we live to tell the tale, so that's what I'm doing now. Both of those, in fact. So the year is 1996, we headed south on a ship called the Bransfield. I was a mariner, that was my job. And a couple of months later we get to Halley. So ships, skidoos, snowcats. It's a long trip south. And we get there and I've got one night and they've got a tent where you're allowed to stay if you're visiting or you want to see what it's like to go camping in Antarctica. So me and this mechanic I was traveling with, his name was Scouse, and well, that's what everybody called him. Probably better to leave it at that as well for this story. But Scouse anyway convinced the base commander that he had done the survival training. Mariners didn't have to do it, but a lot of the other personnel would. And so that qualified us to go out and sleep in this tent, which was a big TP style tent, very steep, designed to withstand the snow and the wind of Antarctica. It's very strong, you wouldn't carry it on your back. We got out there several kilometers away from Halley base on the skidoo, and we pulled up, got in and decided to make a hot brew, and he starts fiddling with the Primus, and that's when I start to suspect that he hasn't actually done the survival training at all, which he hadn't. But I guess in fairness, if he had told the truth, I wouldn't be telling this story now, and I value this old memory. But so he's pumping away with this Primus without a clue what he's doing, and me with even less clue. And he gets the thing going all right, but the flame is about a metre high, tearing out the top of it. Thankfully it was this high TP tent, or it would have ended worse than that. And thinking that he would shut the fuel off, I was kind of surprised when he goes, take a photo, mate. So I reach for my camera thinking that's the way I'll get him to shut the fuel off. So I take the picture, and he shuts the fuel off, and we eventually got the thing going and had a hot brew, and then it was time to get to bed. And so there's these 4 season sleeping bags, but I'm 6'3" and this thing stopped, you know, around about here. I remember the hood stuck between my shoulder blades, and then, oh God, it's going to be a cool night. But it actually wasn't too bad. Minus 18, minus 36 in the wind chill, but we weren't out in the wind. But the next morning, I can remember looking up and the sun shining in through these like ice crystals, or breath, I suppose, that had formed inside the canvas. And these rainbow colours coming in through. And I reached up and I swiped my finger off the crystals, and I looked at my hand and it was black because of the 2 messers in that tent that night who didn't know what they were doing. And so before we did any more damage, we headed on and headed out of Antarctica. But I think that's where my obsession with finding places out of the normal for camping, out in the wilderness, out in the wild, that's probably the origin of network camping. Yeah, it was crazy. But then everything was down there. Everything was crazy in the best possible way. When you've lived that level of adventure in life for a while, it's hard to translate that when you come home into ordinary life. But what I can say is that you can certainly have fun trying.